Coming up, Jim Ryan on the latest update of the Uvalde school shooting. And so we've got lots to cover today. This is KFI AM 640 live everywhere on the iHeartRadio app.
Raise a red cup to the troops. From the comfort of your own backyard. KFI AM 640. More stimulating talk.
KFI.
And KOST HD2.
Los Angeles, Orange County.
Live everywhere on the iHeartRadio app.
Feeling helpless. I'm Jennifer Jones-Lee, live from the KFI 24-hour newsroom. The family of a 10-year-old girl who was killed in a school shooting in Texas say they knew she was dead when officials asked them to go into a separate room. Tess Mata's dad, Jerry, says he waited for hours for the news on Tuesday. He says if he could have run into the school to help, he would have.
So close, right there, across the street, knowing that she was in there. You know, what do you do?
Officials in Texas say the shooter had been inside for over an hour before he was killed by a border control agent. President Biden and the First Lady are expected to visit Uvalde on Sunday as a border patrol agent. As singers and gun companies pull out of the NRA's convention in Houston, Mayor Sylvester Turner says the Memorial Day weekend convention will continue in Texas.
We just don't have that luxury or that option just to cancel a convention that has been on the books for 2 years. Where we are contractually obligated.
Houston city officials have asked the community, especially pro- and anti-gun demonstrators, to stay calm. The NRA's meetings were canceled the last 2 years because of COVID-19. It came under fire for holding the meeting when a shooting at an elementary school in Texas left those 19 kids dead this week. Now, UCLA has imposed a mask-wearing mandate for students, staff, and visitors. The school has also asked that people wear in off-campus indoor settings their masks. The masking requirement will be in effect through at least June 15th. Weekly COVID-19 tests are also required through that date. The legal cannabis industry has brought in a lot of green for the state.
Gascon says he's filed criminal charges against 19 law enforcement personnel, including a school security officer. Over the last 18 months, the DA says he's filed charges for murder, voluntary manslaughter, and on-duty assault charges. There have also been charges filed against cops for filing false police reports and destroying evidence. Gascon says he's created a family assistance fund for those affected by officer-involved shootings and will ask the Board of Supervisors for funding. Steve Gregory, KFI News.
State officials say more than $293 million has been collected in the first quarter of this year for cannabis-related taxes. Of those $293 million, $33 million came from the cultivation tax and $105 million from sales tax. 9 people have been charged in an illegal gambling ring in Santa Ana that included a $120,000 bribe to a police officer.
The local and federal operation alleges a string of gambling casinos were linked to multiple other crimes, including extortion, gun, and drug trafficking. Santa Ana Police Sergeant Maria Lopez says in one case, enforcers robbed an illegal casino manager who had refused to pay street taxes.
Stole thousands and thousands of dollars in gambling machines. I believe one was $11,000, the second like $3,000, and $3,500 in cash.
Lopez says the operations increased violence in the community and will not be tolerated. 7 people were arrested this week and 2 are still on the run. In Orange County, Corbin Carson, KFI News.
The guy seen on surveillance video grabbing the keys from an elderly woman in a Stater Brothers parking lot in Redlands Monday has been arrested. Cops found the carjacker with the suspect sitting in the carjacked car on Wednesday and took him into custody. The woman had been feeding the homeless when the man decided to help himself to her car. An inflation indicator tracked by the Federal Reserve took a dip last month, rising 6.3%. That's less than the 4-decade high reported in March. That's the latest consumer spending number from the Commerce Department, and it could be a sign that inflation has started to cool off. We've got your drive on the 105 after sports with Wayne.
The Dodgers unleashed hit after hit against the Arizona Diamondbacks yesterday, with Freddie Freeman batting in RBIs before and after this second inning at bat.
This ball is drilled to right field. Heading back to the wall, it is gone. A home run, a 3-run shot for Freddie Freeman. And the Dodgers lead it 6-0.
Well, they would go on to win it 14-1. Game 2 is set for 6:40 today, live on AM 570 LA Sports with Tony Gonsolin on the mound. The Angels dropped their home opener to the Toronto Blue Jays 6-3. That series continues at 6:38 with Chase Silseth starting. I'm Wayne Resnick, KFI Sports. If you have a business and you survive COVID with 5 or more employees, you are eligible to receive a payroll tax rebate of $26,000 per employee. By the way, your business survived, not you. This is not a loan. It's a refund of your taxes. The challenge is getting your hands on this. $26,000 per employee. A lot of red tape. So how do you cut through that red tape? Let me suggest getrefunds.com. They are specialists in this little known payroll tax refund program. They do all the work, no charge up front. Their charge is a percentage of the money they get for you. And businesses of all types can qualify, including those that took PPP money. Nonprofits even surprisingly had increases in sales. And they got my business a 6-figure refund. The average client in this program gets $250,000 back. Go to getrefunds.com, click on the Qualify Me button, answer a few questions. That's it. GetRefunds.com.
Your KFI Financial Report is brought to you by Sweet James Accident Attorneys. The Dow is up 242, S&P is up 60, NASDAQ is up 243, and the average price of a gallon of regular unleaded gas in California is $6.08. And for the lowest gas prices in your area, you can check out our website at KFIAM640.com, keyword gas.
If you're hurt in an accident, call the attorneys at Sweet James, 800-500-5200.
SoCal weather from KFI. Looks like it's going to be a sunny day ahead, but a little bit cooler. Temperatures are going to be in the low 60s at the beaches, and we'll be in the low to mid 80s inland. Looks like we'll be a little bit cooler inland through Memorial Day, and then by the middle of next week and the first part of the weekend, we could see highs again in the 90s. Let's get a look at that drive on the 105.
We got a little follow-up now from last time around. Now the drive towards LAX. It's westbound 105, probably a little closer to the 710, but before Long Beach Boulevard. I understand from the CHP it settled down to maybe trash and a lot of debris, mostly in the carpool lane. They were going to run a break to clear that, so it should be okay. After that, it's kind of slow through the 110, and then the Sepulveda Boulevard exit for the airport. And the airport itself, it's not absolutely maddening off the chart like it was last night, but the departure level is kind of slow all the way around, so just be prepared. Orange County Inland, they're checking in okay, normal slowing there. East LA, a little bit of a problem, and it seems to be a familiar spot lately, but North 710 past the 60 at the Ford Boulevard off-ramp. Yet another stall on the off-ramp itself. Southbound 605 from the 210, Irwindale, all the way down to the 105 in Downey. A little slow starting at Washington. Northbound drive, at least that is looking pretty good. Fairly good start to the morning. Let's keep it that way. KFI in the sky helps get you there faster. I'm Jeff Baugh.
On abortion and guns, the leading candidates for California Attorney General are very different. Eric Early is a conservative Republican, pro-Trump, pro-guns, and pro-life. Democrat Rob Bonta is fighting the NRA and supports abortion rights. If you care about Roe v. Wade, remember to vote early before the June 7th election for Attorney General. Ad paid for by Communities for Justice supporting Rob Bonta for Attorney General 2022. Committee major funding from California Correctional Peace Officers Association. Not authorized by a candidate or committee controlled by a candidate.
This is Leland Smith, owner of Service Champions Plumbing, Heating, and AC, with another good deed for free. A customer is walking our technician Gerardo to his truck after a tune-up recently, and he noticed that the front gate was really hard to open. Upon closer inspection, he could see that the hinges were badly rusted, causing the gate to stick. He grabbed a can of WD-40 from his truck, but it wasn't enough to fix the problem. Next up, sandpaper. He grabbed some from his truck and went to work on those hinges for a few minutes. Then a few minutes more, and then a few more minutes. Then he applied another dose of WD-40, and bam! The gate swung easy and free like the day it was installed. This customer was thrilled. She had been struggling with that gate for years. Thanks, Gerardo. Amazing what you can do with a little sandpaper and a can of WD-40. Service Champions. Plumbing, heating, AC, and good deeds for free.
Service Champions, plumbing, heating, AC, and good deeds for free.
This is Jacob Emrani. If you've been in an accident, call 844-24-JACOB.
KFI.
More stimulating talk.
An iHeart radio station.
KFI AM 640. Bill Handel here. It is a Friday morning, May 27th. We're going to spend a few segments worth of time, covering what happened in Uvalde, and I think this will be the last week we do this to this extent. So let's go to Jim Ryan, ABC News correspondent, who's with us regularly.
Jim is in Texas. Jim, let's go straight to the update here. What's going on?
Hi, Bill. Yeah, we're going to get a full-fledged update in 2 hours now. Another update from the Department of Public Safety yesterday. The regional commander gave us our real first law enforcement briefing in a couple of days. The previous news conferences were held by Governor Abbott. They were packed with politicians, really not law enforcement professionals or local police or even DPS there to offer any kinds of substantive updates. So we did get that yesterday. We learned about a fairly shocking difference in the timeline. It was actually an hour between the time that the suspect walked into Robb Elementary School and the time that a SWAT team essentially got into the building and shot him to death. During that hour, of course, we know that 19 children and 2 teachers were shot and killed during this massacre. Parents were standing outside urging the police to go in. The DPS says that they couldn't go in because this was essentially a suicide mission if they had, because this man was still shooting at them. They waited there for equipment, for tactical vests, for extra personnel, negotiators to show up before they went in. That was about an hour after the whole thing started.
And we've seen video of parents screaming at the police, get in there, and some parents were held physically as they were trying to rush the building, rush the police, and one man we saw being actually handcuffed on the ground. While the parents were there, do we have information, were shots being heard as the cops were outside and the parents were there in the vicinity?
According to DPS, yes. Now, in fact, DPS said that they were still coming under fire, or those first officers who approached the building were under fire. I've seen a still image of an officer or a customs agent who was in civilian clothing, has a hole in his ball cap and a corresponding graze wound to his scalp. So people were actually still being shot in the beginning. But you're right. I mean, so I think to those parents, obviously, the minutes were going by like hours. And I suspect that for the cops, the minutes were going by like seconds as they were trying to rush to get people there on the scene.
Yeah.
So, it's just an amazing difference in perception. And today we'll get much more. And I'm sure they're going to face questions for a long time about, why didn't you go in? What else could have been done? And could something have been done to prevent this whole thing, though?
Yeah, yesterday it was interesting to see that one of the not the school officials, one of the police agencies, I think it was state police agency, was under questioning, and man, he was getting ripped. Couldn't answer the questions. But here is the question that I'm confused on. So you have the gunman scaling the fence from what we've heard, and then going into the building. And then going down the hall and into the classroom where the carnage took place. Where was the shootout between the gunman and the police officers? Did they go around the building and go into or were near that back door that he came in? I don't understand that scenario at all.
Yeah, that's my understanding, that yes, they approached that same door that he went through. And that's where these shots were traded. We saw that a couple of police officers were injured, and that customs agents that I talked about. But yeah, that apparently is the scenario, that they approached the building from the same location that he did, from the south side of the building. There may have been others who came through the north or through a separate entrance as well. It should also be noted that door that he went through was not locked.
Yeah.
And that perimeter fence that he climbed over was about the only protection there for that campus. I went onto the school district's website the day after this happened to see what kind of security measures are in place, and it seems that most of them, Bill, are directed toward the high school, not necessarily toward the elementary school.
Which is very strange. So I'm assuming, since the shooting took place, the gunman is inside the school as he walks in and the police show up and there's an exchange of fire. I'm assuming that the cops knew he entered a classroom, and we don't know. And at that point, the questioning really takes place. Oh, we're going to wait until tactical team shows up. While they got a guy with an AR-15 walking into a classroom and he's shooting. A lot of questions.
Yeah.
All right, Jim, thank you. I know you've got a hit to do. Always appreciated.
Thanks, Bill.
Coming up, the final 90 minutes of this young man's life. Boy, a lot of questions about that and the police delays. I'll cover that when we come back. Let's check in with Jennifer Jones-Lee live from the KFI 24-hour newsroom.
Authorities in Texas are now saying the Uvalde mass shooter was not confronted by police before he entered the school. Victor Escalon with the Texas Department of Public Safety said the 18-year-old was not confronted by anybody before he killed 21 people at Robb Elementary School. The governor of Texas, Greg Abbott, will not make a scheduled live appearance at the NRA convention in Houston today after all. Instead, he will go to Uvalde. The governor will have a pre-recorded comment that will be played at the convention. And Alec Baldwin's mom has died. Carol Baldwin was 92. The actor announced her passing on Instagram, writing, "She taught me about second acts." From the Driveway.com Weather Center, we've got a mostly sunny day ahead. Temperatures will just be in the low 80s at the beaches, and we'll make it into the low to mid 80s inland. Low 60s at the beaches, low to mid 80s inland. This report is brought to you by your Staples stores. From the Southern California Toyota Dealers Traffic Center, let's go places. Jeff Baugh now is taking us to the 5.
You betcha, pretty sunny on our freeways as well now. The North 5 now from Orange County all the way to the east of Lansing. That starts at around the 22:57.5, all that. It's good. It's real good. A little slow, getting a little bit north of the 91 through that last construction zone. But after that, you'll be okay. Slow at 6:05, but basically a good drive to the 710. Now, if you're leaving center end of Alice South 405, you hear me talking about those great drives. We're talking about the 405 here. Boy, there's a lot of volume. South 405 before Victory, pretty much up and over the hill to Sunset. A lot of volume. All lanes open. Let's keep it that way. But south of Sunset, if you're headed down to the busy airport, LAX, it's a good drive. Really full speed right to the limit. KFI in the sky helps get you there faster. I'm Jeff Baugh.
You know, during the pandemic, a lot of us were in our homes and thought to ourselves, we either need to downsize because we don't need all of this, or we need to upsize because I had no idea how on top of me my family was. So a lot of people decided, I need to sell my house and get a new one. And what did they do? They went to opendoor.com. When live stores open, they handle your house. So when you go to opendoor.com, all you do is enter your address and a little information about the place, and then Open Door is going to take your information, compare it to homes that have sold recently in the neighborhood, and come back with a real competitive offer. I went to opendoor.com, and I was able to request that offer. It was so easy. I couldn't believe it. So sell your home with this easy, stress-free way of no hassle, no hurdles. You're not going to have the people walking through your house. And the part I liked about it is you don't have the prep work and you don't have to do the repairs yourself before you sell your house. And don't forget, you get to choose your close date and move on your schedule to avoid the double moves and the double mortgages. So get your free offer on your house at opendoor.com/KFI. Offer eligibility varies. Open Door is represented by Open Door Brokerage Inc., license number 020-61130 in California, and Open Door Brokerage LLC in its other markets. Get your free offer on your house at opendoor.com/KFI.
Cutting dental, simply the best. Cutting dental, simply the best.
Over 35 million Americans have some level of dental anxiety just thinking of the dentist. Your heart pounds, your palms sweat, and you lose sleep at night before an appointment. Cunning Dental specializes in people that have severe dental anxiety. They will soothe all of your fears and do your dental work while you sleep with a gentle twilight sleep or full anesthesia. They can repair years of neglect in 1 or 2 appointments. You will simply wake up to a new, beautiful smile and good dental health. They do it all. Dental implants, crowns, root canals, full smile makeovers, and the new permanent teeth in just 1 day. They've been building smiles for over 53 years and are a veteran-owned business. Now get $1,000 off major treatments. Restrictions apply. A free exam, x-rays, and CT scan. Call 1-888-640-SMILE. 1-888-640-SMILE. Cunning Dental, making smiles great since 1968.
Cutting dental, simply the best. Cutting dental, simply the best.
California's become a very scary place. Criminals have more rights than victims. Violent predators are let out of prison early. Police are under attack. And in L.A., George Gascon rules as king. As district attorney, Gascon repeatedly put violent criminals' rights above our families. What he calls criminal justice reform is really criminal destruction of our neighborhoods.
A stunning rebuke of L.A. County District Attorney George Gascon. L.A. County prosecutors overwhelmingly support the recall.
I'm Nathan Hochman. It's no wonder over 800 deputy district attorneys in more than 30 cities want Gascon removed from office. Gascon's policies endanger public safety and put our families at risk. As Attorney General, I will stop Gascon's reckless policies. My job will be to help make our neighborhoods safer. Nothing will ever be more important than that.
Nathan Hochman, an Attorney General who will keep us safe.
Paid for by Nathan Hochman for Attorney General 2022.
Our homes, we protect them from intruders with security systems. But there's another kind of intruder most people aren't aware of until it's too late. Home title thieves. When a criminal transfers your home title to a fake identity and steals your title, no one will notify you. Not the police, not even your bank. Sadly, people find out when it's too late, when their home is sold out from under them, or the eviction notice comes. That's when the legal nightmare begins. You need Home Title Lock, America's leader in home title protection. For just pennies a day, Home Title Lock puts a virtual barrier of protection around your home's title with 24/7 monitoring. Cyber technology has made it easy for criminals to steal your home. Home Title Lock alerts you if your home becomes their target. Make sure you're not already a victim. Go to HomeTitleLock.com and for a limited time, get your free title scan and complete title report. $100 value, free with sign-up. Again, that's HomeTitleLock.com. HomeTitleLock.com.
Hey, it's Steve Gregory. This week on Unsolved, Sergeant Pete Hish with LA County Sheriff's Fraud and Cybercrimes Bureau will scare the out of you with some stuff about how vulnerable you really are online and how do they solve cybercrimes. It's part of our Crime Fighter series.
Unsolved with Steve Gregory. Tomorrow night at 8 on KFI.
KFI AM 640, Bill Handel here on a Friday, May 27th, as we begin Memorial Day weekend. A couple of news items that we're dealing with outside of the shooting in Uvalde is, first of all, rising COVID cases across the country. UCLA reinstating indoor mask wearing mandate. And if you steal a Joshua tree, this is the San Bernardino County Board of Supervisors, new fines up to $5,000 for a first conviction, $10,000 for a second, up to $20,000 for a third. You know, my guess is after the first $5,000, you're going to kick back and go, maybe I shouldn't do this. All right, let's go to what's going on with Uvalde. Whoa, boy, there's some questions. Tell you one thing, you're not hearing the word hero being used anymore in describing the police. That's now off the table. So 90 minutes are what the media, the rest of America, the people in Uvalde are looking at. 90 minutes is when this thing played out. Okay, 11:28, after shooting his grandmother, Ramos, this 18-year-old, grabs her truck, doesn't know how to drive, doesn't have a driver's license. I think it's a stick shift, maybe. And so he's in the pickup truck, and he's driving in the direction of the school, loses control, slams into a ditch right next to the school, I mean, a couple hundred yards away, and jumps out, and here he is carrying an AR-15 rifle. 12 minutes after that, according to the cops, he's in the hallway of Robb Elementary School. And then he enters the 4th grade classroom, as you know, and he kills 19 kids and 2 teachers. At 12:58, that's an hour after this all started. Law enforcement, you could hear on the radio that Ramos had been killed. So these 90 minutes, boy, people are angry. The public is angry. The parents of those children, parents of any kids that were born in there, even the surviving kids, are looking at what happened. Okay, we start with the story of the cops rushed in. It was the Border Patrol. Immediately came, rushed the school with tactical gear, and killed Ramos. Javier Cazares, whose 4th grade daughter was killed, said, they say they rushed in, he was there outside. He was one of the people, one of the parents that showed up early while the shooting was taking place. He raced to the school saying, we didn't see that. They didn't rush in. And so yesterday there was a press conference. There were authorities there. Victor Escalon, Regional Director for the Texas Department of Public Safety. He's sitting there. It's the guy with the Stetson, if you saw it. And, man, he's ignoring those questions. Reporters are nailing him, saying, hey, you're changing your story. We want to know what happened. Why did the cops take so long? What happened there? And all he would say is he is taking all of those questions into consideration. And then the reporters are going berserk. Why don't you answer now? You've gotten more information now. I'm taking your questions into consideration, is what he said. It's bizarre. And he said there'll be an update later on. We're going to have an update 9 o'clock our time. It's scheduled for another press conference by the police. Now, there were some bits of information previously unknown. And after 2 days of conflicting information that the authorities have given all of us, here is what